In Idaho, a big win for school choice. The state legislature passed the Idaho Parental Choice Tax Credit Bill. It sets aside $50 million of taxpayer money to be given to parents in the form of grants. The money can be used towards tuition for private school, tutoring, and even to cover the cost of transportation or advanced placement tests. And joining us now to talk more about the bill is Tommy Schultz, CEO of the American Federation of Children. Tommy, good to be with you. So first off, your reaction to the passing of the bill, and what does this mean for students?
Look, this is a huge win for Idaho families. Idaho was one of the last holdout states of conservative or red states that didn't have a single private school choice program on the books. Now that they've passed this into law, it's heading to the governor's desk. This is about to help, 10,000 families across Idaho get access to the school of their choice. And like you said, there's some flexible uses for the funding. It's going to be about $50 million. Families that are under the income limit of about $100,000 get prepayment of the funds. So it's in the form of a refundable tax credit for every other family. So this is a big win for Idaho and just continuing the momentum of school choice flourishing across the country. President Trump is obviously pushing for a federal piece of school choice legislation that'll benefit all the states, but the states are leading the way. Idaho is joining the chorus of them, and we're excited for all the families that are going to benefit this fall.
Absolutely. Tommy, where's this money coming from?
It's coming from the state. And so again, it's in the fund. It's in a fund that will be orchestrated as a refundable tax credit. Lower income families, obviously, with the tax cycle, it may be hard for them to get access to a private school to then wait for the tax bill to come due where they can then get their credit, but they will at least get a prepayment of the funds. And the legislature is going to, and the rulemaking process essentially going forward is going to talk about exactly how that'll be administered.
Yeah, and that's not taking money away from any other resources, is it? From like local schools possibly?
Well, look, the argument they've made for 30 or 40 years against school choice is it's taking funds from public schools. And it's like at the heart of their argument, they're saying, wait a minute, if families are given the options to go to the school of their choice, taking their own funding that goes to their own kid to the school of their choice, our opponents know that apparently they're going to leave the public schools because unless the government monopoly is forcing them to go to one school system, they're just going to leave, which is not true, right? So these study after study after study shows state by state, because the spending is lower per pupil, generally speaking, in private school choice programs, these programs actually save money for the states, and kids are getting a better education because of it. The national test data shows, in particular with Catholic school students are about 2 years ahead of their public school peers, even in similarly matched lower income schools. So this is going to be a great win for families in Idaho at the end of the day.
Yeah, and do you think this will serve as a model for maybe other states?
Look, a lot of other states have pursued this model. Oklahoma has a very similar one right now. There's other tax credit funded mechanisms throughout the states in about 20 different states. The federal piece of legislation that's moving through Congress that passed out of Ways and Means Committee last year is also a tax credit funded mechanism, just a little bit different than what Idaho has currently. But look, this is going to be a model for other states because at the end of the day, Idaho is one of the last red states to pass this. I think it's going to be a model for blue states. If this federal bill makes it through this year, it's already going to be taking off in every single state. But many other states, I think, are going to feel the competitive pressures all around them when other families are saying, wait a minute, I can go right across the border, get a free education for a private school for my own kid. We want to move. And so I think other states are going to feel this, this pressure from Idaho and all across the country. 2/3 of the states essentially have a private school choice program on the books now.
Yeah, and overall, your final thoughts on this?
Look, at the end of the day, Idaho, Tennessee have already passed big expansions to private school choice programs. Texas could be next. That could be $1 billion each year for families to choose, and that could help 100,000 kids go to a private school. If this federal bill gets passed, all 50 states are on the table. So it's the beginning of the end of the old way of doing education where the bureaucracy dominates, the unions dominate. Parents are going to be in control going forward.
And that sounds good to all of us. Tommy, thank you so much. We appreciate it. God bless.
Thank you.